Hello, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. I'm also a spirit navigator. Today we're going to be talking politics. Okay, there's a lot going on right now. I'm going to tell you about the banks because it's important. And I think it's important because forewarned is forearmed. A lot of people are going to be freaking out, but you're not going to be because you already know what's likely to happen and you've already taken measures to protect your money. Okay, obviously, this is assuming you've got money in the bank. If you don't have any money in the bank, you might want to watch anyway, because I'm going to talk about what happens if there's a run on the banks and the banks close their doors so no one can get in. But not only that, you can't pay your bills. Even if you say, Susan, I don't have any extra money, I live Social Security check or paycheck to paycheck, you still want to know what's going to happen if your bills come in and the bank doesn't pay them because your bank has perhaps failed. Okay, right? Did that get your attention? Of course it did. But here's the thing. You need to do a little homework. You're going to be assigned homework for this video because I can't tell you about your specific bank, but the spirit guides are going to help you understand what to look for so that you can make sure you're protected in this situation. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. Please see an attorney, a financial advisor, someone who is professional and has accreditation. This is simply my opinion and the opinions of a non-physical entity. Okay? Disclaimer. So here's the thing, you guys. Because everything that's going on, and we all know what that is because we pay attention, okay? There's a lot of stress on the banks. The first homework you have is to find out how many banks typically fail in a year. Because guess what? Every year, banks really do fail. Or the government, when it was functioning as a government, would stress test banks. And if they couldn't pass the stress test, sometimes they would close the bank down. Now, here we have a problem, right? Because we don't have a functioning government. A lot of the departments that would be taking care of this situation are either completely dismantled or under some sort of heavy duress that they can't do their job. And in some cases have been actually stopped from doing their job by edicts from the felon. Okay. But none of this matters because I'm going to help you stay calm. I'm going to help you protect your money. I'm going to help you get through this. This is why you come to me. This is why we're here. Okay. The first homework you have. Well, first of all, let's take a deep breath because we're going to get through this together. Okay, now we can be centered, we can be calm, and we can take in information in a rational way and not in a way that's really more about trauma. So the first homework you have to do is learn on average how many banks fail in a given year. Because when a few banks fail and your phone blows up, your social media blows up, everybody's texting you, you will know because you have knowledge, and knowledge is power, that this is normal. This is not anything to worry about yet. That's going to be helpful for you to navigate this so that when you hear this sensational, attention grabbing headlines, you don't fall for it. You're like, yeah, I already did my research and I already know this is normal. Okay. The second homework research I want you to do, according to the spirit guides, is to look up on Google your bank, whatever bank you use. You're going to Google something like, and if you heard that noise, that was my external speaker. You're going to Google something like, what is the financial health of fill in the bank? Chase, Wells Fargo, your credit union, your local bank. You're going to look at the financial health of that bank. Now, number two, you're going to understand that this data might have been collected last year or even the year before. We don't know. So you want to note, when was this data collected? You also want to understand that if it was collected last year, all bets are off right now because this is a time we've never been in. Okay. So here's what the spirit guides came up with. If your bank is rated healthy, let's just use the rating A, B, C, D, F, F meaning failed. Let's say your bank is rated A. You're good. Even if there's a run on the banks, even if the banks are stressed to the max for various reasons, your bank might fall to a C, which would be a pretty big tumble, but it's not going to fail because it was so robust. Okay. If your bank is rated in the middle of health, whatever that middle is, if it's like moderately healthy, not extremely healthy, I would consider, again, this is not financial advice, I would consider moving my money to a bank that is rated highly healthy. Okay. It's it's going to be important that you protect your bank, that you protect your money in this way. This is going to give you, I hope, some reassurance that you've done everything you can within your power to protect your money. Now, the spirit guides also said months ago, they said, take your money and divide it into multiple banks. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Generally speaking, credit unions are really safe. I wouldn't say at this time anything is completely safe unless you've done your homework. But you may consider putting some money in a credit union, some money in a big bank like a Chase or a Wells Fargo or I don't even know the names of banks. But you're going to Google top 3 biggest banks. And then you're going to look at their health and you're going to pick and you're going to do that. This is not financial advice. This is a suggestion. Okay. The other thing to understand is that these online banks that don't have a storefront, they can offer you a better interest rate or whatever because they don't have a lot of overhead. But the spirit guides have suggested that these banks are not very sound. So those banks might be one of the first ones to experience stress, and I'm not sure how they're going to handle that stress. Okay. So if you have your money in one of these online banks, you might consider doing the research about that online bank, and you might consider removing your money or lowering the risk, meaning lowering the amount of money that you have in that online bank. This is all advice. Okay. Now, because if a bank is rated moderate, or let's say the bank gets a C rating, if it's stress on it and it drops to a D, it could easily fail. It's much easier for a bank that's only moderately healthy to fail than it is for a bank that's extremely healthy to fail. We want our money in the most robust bank that we can find, whatever that is, wherever that is. This is not a time, I don't think, for you to consider, I don't like Chase because of this, or I don't like this because of that. This is park your money the safest place it is. After this is all over, you can remove your money and go put it into a place that maybe matches your values. But right now, we need to use different criteria for protecting our money than maybe this person is a corporate raider. Okay, I get it. I don't like these people either. But if they can protect my money right now, I'm going to go with them. I'm going to go with the safest bet. Okay. Now let's talk about a run on the banks. Well, you can look up the 1930s and do all the research you want. You can also yell right now. I can hear you. I can hear you about the FDIC, which is the government insurance that keeps banks from spending on your money. So if a bank spends your money and can't pay you back, if they made a bad investment, and they don't have the money to cover the run on the bank. They don't have even the money to cover a moderate level of people wanting to get their money out. Then the government says, we'll insure you. will make sure that you don't lose your money. This is, I believe, some sort of result from the run on the banks in the 1930s. I'm not sure. And I know that you're saying, Susan, he's going to ruin FDIC. He's going to take away the insurance. I hear you. This is why we just talked about, we didn't even talk about FDIC, did we? We did not. We talked about pick a bank that's robust enough to not need a bailout. Forget the FDIC. We're not talking about the government right now. The government is gone. We really need to be very clear about protecting ourselves and not relying on something that could be manipulated or dismantled by a madman. I would love to tell you that the FDIC is going to remain. I cannot tell you that. I'm telling you how to keep your money safe in a world that makes no sense, a world that is completely chaos driven. Okay? So now I want to say one more thing about if the banks close their doors, don't panic. It's not because they don't have the money to pay you. It's that they don't have the money to pay you right now. And, if you think your money is just sitting in the bank like Fort Knox and you can go take it out anytime you want, you would be wrong. Your money is out there making them money, lots and lots of money. Okay, so they can't pay you when you go to ask for a large sum of money. Sometimes it takes 3 days. So if you want to get some cash out, you might want to do it in increments, maybe 2,000 a week or 3,000 a week. Number one. Number two, I don't think you need $10,000 cash in your house. I barely have $1,000 cash right now. And I got that $1,000 out like 2 months ago. So I don't think you need that much cash in your house, but you do what's comfortable for you. Okay. If you feel like you need to have 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is, you do what's best for you. If you're screaming at me, Susan, I don't have any cash. I don't have any cash. What am I going to do? I'm here to tell you that what are you going to do with your cash anyway? if the banks are closed and your rent or your mortgage is debited from your account, you're not paying. What do you pay cash with, folks? Please don't freak out. We don't use cash hardly at all. So if you are a fortunate person to have $5,000 cash in your house and your mortgage is due and your mortgage is with Chase, how are you going to pay them with cash? You see what I'm saying? So we need to really calm down and be logical about the situation, okay? If you want to have cash, have cash. If you don't have cash, don't freak out. So if the banks close their doors, don't freak out because it's just a precautionary measure for people to calm down. This happened during the bank run. They literally closed the doors because if we all went and asked for our money, the banks would fail because they'd have to call in all their investments and their investments might be down. Likely right now they are down. So they're not going to allow that. They're not going to allow you to make their bank fail. Okay? That's why they also sometimes, if you go to withdraw $5,000, they're like, man, we'll get it to you in a few days. And I know it drives people crazy, but they're king. They get to decide what's happening. If you go to a major bank, you're likely to come through this fine, even if there's a run on the bank, even if they close their doors and say we're not doing any transactions. It's okay. This is to protect you and them. Okay? So now you understand. Hopefully some of the panic and toxic trauma has been removed from this situation. Okay? Now, the other thing that can happen is they close their doors. They also close their transactions online. And you're like, oh my God, Susan, what am I going to do? I can't get my Social Security check because the bank is closed. I can't pay my mortgage or my rent because the bank is closed. Take a deep breath. It's not just you. It's millions and millions of other people. Take a deep breath. If you can't pay your mortgage, guess what? The bank knows what's going on. Okay. So there's going to be grace here. The guides say it's just like 9/11, and it's just like the first few days of the pandemic. We didn't know what was happening. You couldn't get a plane, you couldn't rent a car. During the pandemic, you couldn't buy toilet paper. Nobody knew what was happening. This is a similar situation. There may be a few days where nobody knows what's happening. And the people that aren't paying attention, the people who aren't like you, who are forewarned, therefore forearmed, are going to freak out. But you're not going to freak out because you understand what's happening and you did your homework. You understand that if this many banks close, that's normal. If this many banks close, that's abnormal. You also understand that you moved your bank. You moved your money out of that bank because it wasn't very robust. Therefore, when it closed, you're fine. You're okay. Knowledge is power, you guys. Don't fall for all this sensationalism craziness. Okay, the last thing I want to say, because frankly, I did this whole video and my microphone wasn't working. So, the last thing I want to say is this. For those of you who would like to have more knowledge, you can get more knowledge for free through social media. Threads, God forbid, X or Twitter, but you can. And maybe Facebook, I don't know, and Blue Sky. Now, here's how you're going to do it. You're going to go to those different social media sites and even maybe Instagram, and you're going to go and you're going to search for financial reporters. And then you're going to follow them and you're going to comment and just even comment thank you or like their post so that their posts show up in your algorithm, because financial reporters are not sensational. They're business, and business costs money. When people are you don't see stock traders being sensational, unless they're trying to sell you their product, right? So follow financial advisors, financial reporters, and follow more than one. And then when they say something and you're like, wait a minute, I think they're talking about my bank. Then you comment and you say something like, thank you for this information. However, I don't understand it. Can you explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old? Now, for some reason, social media has adopted this. And if you ask, please explain this to me like I'm 5 years old, they actually will. They actually take the time and they explain it to you in a way that someone who's not an expert in that field can understand. So remember that. Please explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. And the financial reporter will likely, or somebody very smart that's reading these, because guess who follows financial reporters? Businesses. Guess who's got so much to lose? Businesses. You need to get your information from that kind of source. So now you're forewarned and you're forearmed because you know to do your due diligence and look up your bank and make sure that it's robust. You know to spread your money around. You know that if the bank closes, everything is going to be okay. They're closing to protect you. It's not the end of the world. Number 3, banks are going to close. Probably not yours because you already know to check the health of your bank. And you know what? I'm sorry. Those people that got their heads stuck in the sand are probably going to get hurt. But you can't help them. You cannot lead a horse to water. I've talked to many people this week in my neighborhood, and they simply do not know what's going on, and they don't believe it's going to impact them. And I cannot help them. I can help you. You're a horse. You came to water. Me. I'm giving you my advice. You can use your own discernment and take it further. You can talk to your own advisor. You can talk to your own family. You could talk to your own banker and get some real advice. Now, a friend of mine asked her banker a month ago, and they said, yeah, we don't know what would happen if the FDIC was dismantled. I mean, who knows? We don't know. We've never been there. So, they may not be able to give you a good answer. So, what we've done here is give you tools, not answers. We've not told you the banks are going to run, the banks aren't going to run. We've told you how to protect yourself and your family and to get through this, hopefully, all in one piece and, be able to sleep at night because you've done the due diligence. You've done the things that you need to do to make sure your money is safe. Okay. Number two, in the can. Hopefully it worked. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. And thank you so much for bringing me to 75,000 subscribers. Thank you. I am so grateful to you. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I hope that we continue supporting each other for years in advance. And I really see us getting through this. I really do. This is not going to continue like this forever. It's just not. I don't see that. But right now, what I want you to do is take really good care of you because, well, you know how crazy it is out there, right? So when this is over, we want to be healthy. We want to have our mental facilities intact, right? We want to be able to enjoy the post felon era. Okay. We don't want to, be in bad shape. So take care of yourself. Okay. And last thing, two things I'll say, remember that I've got a free channel, I do have a free channel. This is a free channel and also have another YouTube channel. I do more spiritual topics and it's called Susan Lynn Spiritual Way Shower. I also have a free community. Things are getting really risky out there. My guides are like, don't say this, don't do that. And it's rough out there, you guys. So that's why they had me create a free community. I'm it's just free. Okay. It's called Lighthouse Keepers Crew. You go to my website to join it. My website is susanlynnmedium.com. No strings. susanlynnmedium.com. Hit the button, join Lighthouse Keepers Crew. Then you can share. I'm worried. I'm happy. This good thing happened. This bad thing happened. Your community is there and you can be safe. And because it's not owned by Meta, it's not owned by Google, it's not owned by Elon, it's not owned by anybody. It's owned by me. I pay for it, even though you're getting it free. Okay. It's on Mighty Networks, which is woman owned. Okay. Now, the sister companion to the Lighthouse Keepers Crew is my premium community, $12 a month. You can join it, you can cancel anytime you want. In the premium community, I am there twice a month. One session that I'm there for several hours is doing readings, just helping you out. Like just last week, I had 3 federal employees that I was helping them navigate the hellscape that they're in. If you want to, there is nothing right now that compares to what federal employees are going through. It's illegal. And I think they're going to get their money back. But right now they got to pay their mortgage. And it's unimaginable what these people are going through. Okay. And the other thing I do with my community, my premium community, $12 a month is Soul Growth Sunday, which I've been doing for years. I also on that community, which is the magical metaphysical community, both of these communities you can see on my website, susanlynnmedium.com. I also have guest speakers that give mini classes on astrology, numerology, the Kabbalah, psychic, mediumship abilities, energy healing. This is all included for $12 a month. On top of that, it's your community. If you want to post, if you did a tarot spread and you wanted to post it, you could. It's your community. If you wanted to say, I had this crazy dream, what do you guys think? You can. If you want to say, I need prayers because I'm really sick right now, you can, and you will be supported because it is a supportive community of people just like you. There's over 1,100 people there. Last thing, I have a class coming up in a week or two. It's called The Power of Your Soul's Purpose, $37. I'm teaching it with my dear friend Afefe Tehemba. You can find her on YouTube at Touched by Tarot. And The Power of Your Soul's Purpose, hour and a half long. I think it's April 26th, $37. You will get a recording. So if you can't make that date and that time, sign up anyway, and you'll get the recording. It is, it's going to be very helpful. We have taught thousands of people together. Our last class had over 600 people. We know how to teach you these concepts, and people, students that come away from our class, they come away with real helpful advice, and hopefully they improve their lives with that. Okay. You can learn about all of that, everything that I just talked about, at SusanLynnMedium.com. Take really good care of yourself. I'll see you again really soon. For entertainment purposes only.